So we're back with Nizi Project 2. This is episode 4. We're continuing the dance evaluations now. Last week we got to see Miraku, Sean, and AG go up. This week we get to see a whole lot more. We get to see at least 10 people. And so let's just get right into it. It starts with the first guy up is So Ken. He's a new guy, new face. He has his motto when he comes out. It's I can, we can, so can. And it reminded me a lot of Matthew from Boys Planet because he's like, I need you, I want you, Matt too. And so this kid's 15 years old, good at sports, and he dances and sings with his sisters actually. And he says that he saw season 1, which inspired him to get into it. So we get to see this guy's audition right now, and uh, JYP basically said back then he wasn't as good as the other contestants, and he lacks basic skills. But he did tap into his sincerity, and that he needs to work hard if JYP does let him in and put him on hold. But he did get approved days later, and his family and sisters were very happy for him, and we got to see that. And I thought that was very like heartwarming because like you get to see this guy who like his family's all like really proud of him. It's gonna change their lives if he actually gets through. And so he after that he starts practicing hard. When it comes to his dance, so he does switch to me, and I know this dance because I've seen this dance so many times, and I can see that he's like not that smooth, but I actually did like his energy. He could work on his facial expressions, transitions. A lot of moves were incomplete, gestures aimed in the wrong directions, could be bigger. A lot of work to do. And then at the end, there was this funny point where he had trouble on the splits, and he hesitated, and it made me laugh so hard. And for that reason alone, I would just say I like this guy. But JYP, his comments were, he's terrible, probably the worst, and he realized that he can tell that this guy hasn't practiced very long, and he expects him to improve. But other than that, he had good strength and speed, and he told him that if he can observe himself in the mirror and he can see what he's doing wrong, he can improve. But then he got no cube for his effort. I don't know how good his audition was, so I can't tell you how much he grew or not. But he seems to uh, not be enough to get a cube. But the other participants are encouraged to learn from the feedback. So that's So Ken. The next one is Tomiyasu Yu, who is one of my favorites, and he's basically 17 years old. JYP in his audition said to watch his silhouette, but he wasn't that good. But I thought he was fine though. But he practiced a lot since then. So he gets to his dance, and for me, it's like it's a fine start. I actually like what he's doing, but in general, it's just fine. I felt throughout the whole performance that it felt tense and restrained, and I felt like it could be bigger. Uh, when it came to JYP's feedback, JYP basically stopped him during the performance and said he needed to improve. Well, sorry, he did improve the things that he pointed out, but he wanted to point out new things, which is that his power between the moves, he needed lighter moves, and he was putting too much strength into everything, so it looked heavy and his body was hunched. But the strength was really good, but he didn't deserve a cube according to JYP, and I guess I can kind of see that because I had no problem with his audition, but this time I noticed that he was kind of like it was very strange, restrained, like stiff, pulled together, and so with that respect, I would say, hey, I'm glad I noticed that, and I'm glad JYP pointed out as well. Uh, so the next one we get to is Inoue Haru, and Haru is JYP during his audition said that his dance was the best. He has a good look, I think, and he could be the center or the leader if he was really hardworking, which it seems he is actually. He practices moves from 10 to midnight every day, and he hates losing. And to me, that's like Jiho energy. He's smart enough. Also, I noticed to put his pendant under his banner, so you can see his names. And so, if he's thinking of stuff to that degree, I would say this guy's a very intelligent guy, and he could probably get very far. I think I actually saw him talk. Was this the guy talking to himself, giving him a pep talk, giving himself a pep talk behind the scenes? Was that this guy? Or was that Tomoyo? I can't remember. I felt like it could be this guy, but maybe I'm remembering wrong at this point. Uh, but when he got to dancing, I was thinking this is very good. Uh, there were times when it looked a little too effortless, and what I mean by that is that there wasn't a range where I could feel the tug between the emotions of the song, and his face expressions were a bit um, monotype. Like they kind of, I didn't notice some change, uh, and so in that respect, wasn't as good as it could have been. But I still thought it was very good. And so, according to JYP, he had power, speed, and the shift between movements was good for him. And overall, though JYP said he looked stiff, I didn't notice that personally. But JYP did say he needed to loosen up and dance with lighter movements, and he needs to relax more. But he did still get a stone, which kind of breaks the current drought of the last two guys not getting stones. And so after this, we get to a very quick point of the show where we start getting summarized trainees. And so uh, we get Yuki here, who JYP says doesn't have enough speed and power, no snap, not as good compared to his addition. We get Seita, who JYP says is too stiff. We get Takuto, who JYP says is too sloppy. I feel bad about that because I actually like this guy. He seems like a guy of good character. And then you have Fujimaki Taiga. Right. We have Fujimaki Taiga here who said he needs to concentrate on each part of his body and movement uh, and then get the synchronization right, or else he won't improve. And so after four kind of non-stone performances in a row, JYP called for an actual break, and then they all split up for, I don't know, just waiting. I guess they just need to clear the air a bit. Sometimes you need to do that. Like if I'm reviewing a video, and I start to like get down in spirits, I may not give the next people a fair shake. And so that's these guys. And right after break, we get called back, and we have Sodai. Now Sodai is a JYP trainee, and turns out he was kind of nervous. But he says he's confident about singing, but not his dancing. And so, because of his lost confidence, he started to practice very hard. Now, I expected this guy to do well because he did well before, and actually I think he's very good. He had a good mix of move, fast, slow, big, and tight. All those stuff he was doing very well. So I don't have any criticisms of him. According to JYP said it was wonderful, and JYP could tell how much he practiced. Said he clearly thought about every move, and his dance lines were beautiful, fast, and precise. And so JYP also praised him, and so his nervousness was for nothing. But maybe it helped him practice and nail it. So I would say he did a good job. So the next guy is Nagatsuka Kohei. Mira got a stone. Sodai got a stone, by the way. But Kohei, he was a last-minute addition showed in the last episode. JYP said he was good at storytelling and dance, and basically he was under pressure because others who did the same song that he's going to do for this performance got cubes, and so he was kind of nervous. Now it comes to the dance. Now I was like, I like it. This guy's light on his feet, and even his strong moves don't feel too tense. They feel very deliberate, and that's what I liked about it, is that when someone means to do exactly what they do, they're not like sliding too far for each move. They're not like stretch. They don't seem like they're overly using too much strength. They're just kind of like exact. And the only reason I would like more strength is if you were weak. If you're too weak, then I would like, yeah, it's better to have more strength. But if you're so good that you can do it like to the exact amount, that's good too. Now JYP, after seeing his performance, JYP gives him a cube right away. And actually, he's so good that they show the panel of 5 judges in the background, and like he has 5 other judges with masks on, so you don't know who they are. They're saying good things about him in the moment. So, according to JYP, this guy understands the song, expresses it perfectly, says his body remembers the song, and that he's fast and accurate, but also relaxed with a good range of moves, and that he's wonderful. And so I don't think you can get better praise than that. At least that's what I thought. He got a stone or a cube, whatever they call it. I don't know why they call it a cube since it's a stone triangle. But anyways, finally we get to see the last one. I think he's also a JYP trainee, and it's Uemura Tomoya. This is the one I was talking about earlier. But who I don't know if he talked to himself. I feel like it was the other guy. I think I got that wrong. But this is the funny JYP trainee. He's 16. JYP likes his passion. You know what's funny is he kind of has that scary villain look, as in that villain who always smiles until you like push him too far, and then he stops smiling and kind of starts to look deranged. And this guy has that kind of look. And his roommate is AG, and so this guy, he has like, we have high expectations for him and his roommate. And he worked really hard. He practiced from 10 to midnight, and he said he was confident, but he also felt pressure. But he gets to dancing, and for me, I was like, this guy's dance is very good. Like big movements to start off. He feels big when he performs, and he does this thing where he slides, but he has good balance and control, and he's very precise. And so I feel like this backdoor performance was better than the guys on Boys Planet. And so that's just me looking at this guy. Very clean, very exact, very good. And so it goes to JYP, and then it shows his judges again, and judges says, this guy is the best. JYP says he perfectly fixed everything. He transitioned well. He was good at carrying and shifting his emotions. And said he added some relaxed moves, but he doesn't look relaxed. But other than that, he was perfect. He didn't look relaxed during his performance. I guess he was under pressure, and JYP could tell. I couldn't tell. I thought his performance was basically flawless. And so, following Kohei, I didn't think anyone would beat Kohei's performance, but it looks like Tomoya does. And so, to me, that's like, this guy. I can't wait to see him sing, because if he locks in singing, then he's a lock in for the group. But I would say that a lot of JYP trainees are kind of locks. I don't know if anyone would be rejected. But anyways, that is all these. I think this is the 7, or no, this is 10 people we've seen. But a lot of them were summarized. So we've seen 13 total so far, and there's 7 left. Takao is left, Shokei is left, Ryo, Yuito, Yuhi, and then there's 2 Taichis. I didn't realize this, but I was like wondering who the 20th member was, and then I realized there's 2 Taichis, and I didn't recognize their faces yet. I just know their names, but yeah, there's 2 of them. And I guess that's it. This was a pretty, I would say, disappointing episode in terms of like how many people got gems. There was only 4 out of the there was only 4 people who got the gemstones out of the 10 they showed, and then 4 were summarized, and then 2 did not get it. And there were some of them, I like those guys too, so I would say in that respect the performance was not top shelf, but the drama and the fun of watching it was really good. And I like that these episodes are a little bit longer than like A2K. I'm also covering A2K, by the way. That's the American girl group. But anyways, really good. And I look forward to the last guys I hope they show all of them next week. It would be disappointing if they only showed 3, or if not all 7. But I feel like they will, because they wouldn't have needed to summarize so many in this one episode, unless they're going in order, and then I'm just totally wrong on that. But I guess that's it. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. You don't like it, give it a thumbs down. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. No bingo this week.